Hey, how's it going? It's me and Michael D. Today, we are here to talk about the all encompassing and all exciting Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 1. Yes? No?
Also known as Chapter 9, The Marshal,
There
written
we
and
go.
directed by seasoned showrunner Jon Favreau. And we're going to talk so much boba, you're going to feel like you're in Flushing, Queens.
Exactly, because everyone around there is wearing a Boba Fett helmet, of course. It's crazy.
Flushing. Imagine.
Imagine if that's the case, right? Like if I'm going to Flushing again and then it's like we're just gonna walk around in like the whole uh like Mandalorian armor, just me and you walking around. Because if it's getting colder, right? Then I think like we can wear it without feeling like burned up. Like we're gonna get like a heat stroke.
Yeah, I'm sure it's very warm.
Yeah. So, because like I'm excited about all the life size helmets that they made, but how do you put that stuff on? Like, how do you wear that?
Just put it on your head.
Oh, well, I mean, it's cool. So, back to the fact that the episode happened. I was kind of hoping that or thinking that they would carry on for how they left off in season one.
See, I was following the rumors. I don't want to be exposed to any spoilers, but I was following the rumors between the seasons, or I was passively aware, not actively seeking spoilers, but I was passively aware of stuff. And it was announced that Mr. Tamura Morrison would be in the season. And if it wasn't announced, it was very heavily implied that he would be in the season. And for those of you who don't know, Tamura Morrison is the actor who played Jango Fett in Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. And since Boba Fett is a genetically unaltered clone of Jango Fett, this could only mean that this actor was portraying Boba Fett, since Jango Fett is dead. If that makes any sense whatsoever.
Well, I mean, at some point they're gonna just do a Boba Fett spinoff. I don't. I think they're just gonna be like,
Oh
oh
yeah, that was in the original plans. So
yeah.
people are already thinking Boba Fett, Boba Fett, Boba Fett, and
So
it hung all over the entire episode. As
so
soon as soon as the gangster that he um, takes care of in the beginning
mm-hmm.
says that there's a Mandalorian on Tatooine, you're like, oh, that's got to be Boba Fett. That's got to be Boba Fett. And then the entire time, like you're thinking, where is he? Where is he? And of course, Cobb Vanth comes in the cantina wearing Boba Fett's armor. You're like, wait, is that him? No, it's not him. Damn it! But there's a possibility he's alive. There's a possibility he'll be in this episode. And this whole time you're thinking, yes, will we see him? Will we see him at the very end? You're like, oh no, we didn't get to see him this episode, but it was a great episode anyway. But at the very, very end, in the very last shot, we see Mando on his speeder bike going across the desert.
Right.
As a ominous figure overlooks him, silhouetted against the sun setting, turns around, and we see that it is none other than, yes, indeed, Mr. Tamura Morrison, and revealing that, yes, Boba Fett is alive. Boba Fett is aware of Mando, and Boba Fett is aware that Mando has his armor. Holy shit.
What do you mean Mando has his armor?
Well, the armor that he... so in return for helping to kill the dragon, the Mandalorian took Boba Fett's armor, remember?
Right.
He took the dude's armor, Cobb Vanth.
Yeah. So the other one was like they were like, okay, they're just gonna kill a bunch of dragons now. Like how did I was like, well that's one way to lighten up the environment. Like like that's it's like what's Mandalorian rated G, rated PG, with rated TV 13? I don't know. Like Disney's very good at covering that stuff, trying to make it as G-rated as possible.
Oh, yeah. You could see an entire village of people being eaten by a monster, but as soon as you show a drop of blood, it's rated R. That's how that thing works. My friend was telling me about it. he like investigated it, and the rules are so arbitrary and stupid that yeah.
I'm like, okay. It's like, well, just like make sure to eat the whole thing, right? Like no arms and dismemberment. Just eat the entire critter. Like
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, that was like an acid bath or heavily
Oh
implied.
yeah, even better. Yeah, you can watch people being burned alive in acid, but
Yeah,
if they get a paperclip uh, wound,
paper cut. It's like over.
paper cut, no, rated R. Sorry.
Yeah. So I was like, it's a great introduction to the world, and then it's like showing like what people eat because like you got to survive and get meat somewhere in the desert, right?
Oh, they were feasting, bro. At the end of that episode, they were loving that crate dragon.
Yeah. So I'm like they definitely like really like a world apart, man.
So, what was your favorite part of the episode?
Favorite part probably like when they all got together, and then they were like planning out how to kill the dragon, and they're adding more and more little rocks to show like we need more people. I
It was
was like,
almost like a little movie, right?
yeah. It was like how long is an episode? Like what, 45 minutes?
This one was a bit longer than average. Most of them are about 20, 25. This one was like a good 45.
Like it's like it could be like half a movie basically, like
Mhm.
half of a feature film because they really explore like in detail what's going on, but in a very chill format. Like you got a lot of like inactivity filling up the space just to give you like an idea of the environment.
Yeah, to like build up characters and show you what they're about.
Yeah.
Give a little
So
bit of that backstory to the village. That's the whole thing. I feel like the main character in this one was the village of Mos Vespa, which is a new village we've been introduced to in Tatooine.
yeah. So it's like
Mos Pelgo, sorry, Mos Pelgo.
no, they were like, let's just do a Star Wars away from the spaceship, away from all the lightsabers, away from all the TIE fighters and all of that. And let's just do Sand Village.
Let's just
Like,
do Mando straight up slaying a dragon and uniting a group of enemies together, showing racial harmony.
yeah, intergalactic racial harmony.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because Tusken Raiders were no joke. Those were the original guys that beat up Luke.
What they kidnapped them? They beat them like what was that?
Yeah, in the first movie, like when he was wandering out to find R2D2,
Right.
they like snuck up on him and hit him with a stick.
Oh, forget the lightsaber, right? Oh,
Yeah,
stick versus lightsaber. The stick is more powerful,
yeah.
right?
Well, this was even before they had the lightsaber, but then Obi-Wan came out and did that howl, and that kind of all made them go away
Yeah.
because they're shook of Obi-Wan. Because if you're in a desert, I don't care how many Tusken Raiders you got. If you're against Obi-Wan, you're gonna get fucked up.
Yeah. We can say that on our channel, right? uh,
I think we're allowed like 2 or 3, so I'll
yeah.
let you get the next 2.
Yeah. So yeah, it's like what do we where are they gonna go from here?
That's a huge question. Are we gonna go right back to Boba Fett, or are we gonna sidetrack?
like
I
it,
have a feeling they're gonna sidetrack because this was too. I just hope they don't sidetrack it. It's lame. But this was totally. I mean, this whole. If you're a fan and you've been following like what was going on in the off season,
right.
like they were fucking with you. This was like a huge tease, the entire episode with regards to Boba Fett appearing.
But then they just did it it's like obvious now. It's canon. It's done. Both
Yes,
good.
for just like the election is apparently done. I mean, that's the same we could say about
Yeah,
Boba
we're
Fett.
gonna stay away from politics, okay? Well, this is a Star Wars channel. Let's keep it in the realm of Star Wars. Um, yeah, it's interesting because they're gonna do a Boba Fett uh series, or is it have
Well,
you
that was one of the first series announced, but then they scrapped it.
for this?
No, I mean, not really for it because they could put on as many series as they want.
I mean, they own
But
the IP, right? So they can do whatever they want.
yeah, and when this show was first announced, and it was first announced that it's going to be called The Mandalorian, people were like, "Oh, maybe it is the Boba Fett series. They're just calling it The Mandalorian," when we didn't have any details. I
Right.
even had some thoughts maybe it is Boba Fett underneath that armor until pretty a few episodes into the first season where it was pretty clear it's not Boba Fett.
Yeah. So I guess that's the main feature. I think he just basically stole the show. Mando's not as important anymore. In this,
Yeah, I mean that's gonna be the interesting part, right? Because we said like, will this season top the first one? And so far, they're off to a great start, I would say.
but at the same time, I feel like the first season was able to introduce so much because they set the premise, and in this one, I don't know how many premises they can set in the second season. Like the first one said, like, all right, you meet Baby Yoda, slash the child. Then you're flying around. Then you're exploring the history of the Mandalorians. You're exploring the armor. You're exploring them getting pinned down, and they're at the Imperials are after them, and then they escape, and jet fighter falls down. Like all that kind of stuff happens. There's a lot that happened in season one, and in season two, we're starting off with Boba Fett and a dragon getting slayed.
So we're kind of continuing on the regular path with the dragon of Mando being a hero, and we're also introducing new stuff. I mean, that's kind of been the thought that the season two would explore more existing Star Wars stuff.
Okay.
Because you got to think, Boba Fett is alive. What's he been up to? Why didn't he get the armor from the Marshal?
Right.
Is he like hanging back, waiting for something?
Right. So it's like it's hard. It's like where do they go from here? You know, you
Oh,
know.
there's so many places they can go from here. They can go. Just Boba Fett. What is Boba Fett's story? That's the whole question.
I mean,
That's
they're
like
just gonna do like halfway through season two, they're just gonna kill off Mando and be like
the
the
new man,
Boba Fett, the Boba Fett,
Boba Fett.
episode 10. Like, I mean, that's how it feels because Boba is such an iconic character, and they created the series The Mandalorian, and they're really making us fall for this new character because you get a sense of his personality, even though you don't see his face a lot, but just his demeanor and how
Well,
he is.
speaking of new characters, I mean, we had the Marshal, right? That was a
Right,
totally new character.
right.
What do you think of the Marshal?
It's like it fits in the Star Wars theme, but I feel like for the first episode, I was expecting maybe like a little more punch. Like it felt like a very relaxed episode
Yeah.
relative to how they ended. Like in the middle, like there's a
Oh yeah.
war, there's like all this stuff happening, and Droid sacrifices himself, develops, you know, has like a conscience and stuff like that. And then now it's like
So it sounds like you were really anticipating this to pick up with the Empire.
something like that. But this is a like a nice welcome change because the pacing is very like Pulp Fiction-y almost, where you have like periods of like just normal stuff happening, and
Yeah.
not just like beat them up all the time, which explores the atmosphere. So I felt like they're exploring the atmosphere, but it's very self-contained, because it's like contained by planet.
And we saw a weak way bartender.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give myself a challenge of if I can include this book in every episode.
Okay.
So the bartender that we saw is a species called a weekwai. And these guys were on Jabba's original barge in Return of the Jedi.
Okay.
They were like the ruffian-looking dudes.
How tall is that guy on that stat?
Uh, Over 2 meters.
I don't know what that means in regular.
In like English, right?
Yeah, I don't know what that means in American system of measurement.
It's the only system of measurement, dude.
Apparently, right?
He's a big guy. Let's just put it that way. Uh, well, hold on. Hey Siri, how many feet is 2 meters?
2 meters is 6.56 feet.
Yeah,
Oh.
dude. So this guy's 6'6".
Okay. So I thought it was like 9 feet or something. It was like, okay.
That's going into Chewbacca territory.
Yeah. So all right, six and a half. Like I have some friends that are 6.5, little higher. So that's not.
These are humanoid species from the planet of Sirlor, and you pronounce it Weekwai. Weekwai kind of sounds Caribbean, maybe a little bit, but they're known for their exceptionally tough hide, which can actually hold up to blaster bolts. So these guys could take up. Their skin is pretty much like armor. They could take a few blaster bolts like straight to the skin. And that's why they're used as versatile. Sorry?
Makes me wonder how powerful blasters actually are sometimes. Like in reality. Because like, what do you think? Blaster or sniper rifle bullet? What do you think it has more kill power?
Like a real life sniper rifle?
Yeah.
I don't know, sniper rifles like that. Those bullets like that big, right?
Yeah.
Or a blaster?
Like I don't see blasters really like piercing through stuff as often.
Yeah, they've never really demonstrated blasters being like super powerful at anything.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, okay, he takes a few hits, but then like lightsabers, I'm assuming are like their plasmas are like somewhat the same, and lightsabers can cut through like 3 meters of solid steel. So I don't know, man.
Yeah, and remember in Rogue One when all those guys had blasters, they were shooting Vader, and he's just like, "Give me all that." Start chopping them down.
Yeah, so I feel like the lightsaber is like probably like 20 times more powerful than.
Oh, for sure, definitely.
20, 30 times more powerful. So, but the only thing is that it's close range, unless you like force power it to kill, right? Pretty close range, and blasters are like. So I'm like, being able to withstand that is like not as impressive as it seems on record, somewhat.
Just don't tell that to a stormtrooper.
No, I mean they got to work on their aim, right?
Oh wow, dude! If you go to Disney World and go to that, what's it called?
They have like Galaxy's Edge now.
Yeah, Galaxy's Edge. You just walk around and talk all the shit to people dressed up as like stormtroopers.
You figured I'd get kicked out, right? Escorted out or something.
I don't know. I've always wondered what the rules are because you're supposed to engage with them, but I mean that's part of the fun. But like, how far can it go?
Right. So yeah, I mean, I think that pretty much sums up what.
Well, I was gonna ask you, as someone who's worked in the service industry, how would you make spatchka? How would you make a drink that looks like spatchka?
Start making like blue milk, huh?
No, not blue milk. Like the spatchka is like it's like neon blue, but it's really shiny.
That that's actually like how would I do that? I would just take, honestly, I would probably do like a milkshake and just give it blue food coloring.
Mm.
Like I would keep it really simple because there, or I would use like maybe some blueberries or like some blueberries, milk, like put it in a blender, get maybe some blue M&Ms just to
So there's
get,
no. Is there any way to make a drink radiate light like that?
I don't know, give it uranium and make it. I don't know. That's debatable. You know that I would probably just make the drink. Probably I would change the glass to give it the illusion that it was a radiating light. Like just put like a light under it, like maybe like a cup of light just beam through the glass, and then it would give the illusion. But that's about it.
So the other thought I had, like a more realistic thought, is for Baby Yoda. He's really not having a good childhood if you think about it.
What do you mean?
Well, this came to mind when Mando showed up in the bar
Mm-hmm.
and like Cobb Van't wouldn't give him the armor. Cad Van't wouldn't give him the armor. Um, and he's like, Mando's like, either you give it to me or I'll take it off of you. And then Cad Van't, the marshal, is like, well, you want to do this in front of the kid? And then Mando is like, he's seen worse. And it made me realize, like, yeah, Baby Yoda has seen like a lot of shit in his short life. You know, he's gonna grow up traumatized if he keeps going on like this.
But I mean, he seems to be taking it pretty well.
Well, but remember last season he did the force choke on the person that was arm wrestling Mando.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, like, it's going to be interesting if they show, like, if all this exposure to violence early on is going to make him, like,
Dark side Yoda.
yeah, exactly. That's an interesting, like, storyline that they could explore if they really want to go a little deeper.
Imagine if Yoda was evil.
Yeah, evil Baby Yoda.
I mean that's got to be a cliffhanger for next time. You know, we gotta explore that topic later on.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
All right, so I think that's a pretty good recap of episode 1. Because I'm like, how much can we talk about off the top of our head?
Yeah.
All right, so guys, thank you for listening, and join us for when we do this for episode 2. Peace.